everyone, and welcome to Write This Moment, the podcast where we share our writing journeys through every chaotic moment.
We're your hosts, Peyton and
Brittany?
and today we're going to do a big recap of everything that we did in 2025 for writing, not our whole lives. That'd be a little intense. It was not a good year, but then we're going to be talking about everything that we're hoping to accomplish in 2026 with our writing goals. I sure do have some goals. Will I meet them? I don't know. But you got to have something to reach for. So, we're really excited to be back because it's been, I think it was like 3 months since the last one. So it's kind of
Yeah,
embarrassing looking at, we're like, let's do every 2 weeks. And here we are 3 months later.
life
Excuse
gets in the
us.
way sometimes, you
It
know?
does. It does. And that's okay because we're back. It's the new year. It's literally January 30th. So we took a little second to come back, but very excited to talk with you because it's been a little bit since we've actually even talked. I was about to say face to face, but it's not even really face to face.
Well,
But
it's face to face, it's just not in the flesh.
so let's just go ahead and dive into everything that we accomplished in 2025. I'm very curious, Brittany, even though I kind of do already know. Like, please let us know what were your goals for 2025 and then what actually happened. Did you accomplish your goals?
I did accomplish my goals, and then some.
Yes, yes.
So when I create goals now for writing for the year, I try to be very like vague. Like I don't want to put like a specific project that I want to work on, unless it's like warranted, because sometimes I change my mind on what I want to do, and then I want to be
Hmm.
able to cross off that goal, you know? So
Yeah.
instead of saying specifically like draft this book, I just say draft a book. So that's
Hmm.
kind of what I do. So my first goal was to continue querying my novel, What You Mean to Me. I started querying it in 2024, and so it was just my goal to continue querying it because that's all that I can control when it comes to, trying to get a literary agent is just me sending out the queries. So that was my only goal. I did continue querying, and
Hmm.
in the end of August, I think, I did sign with a literary agent with What You Mean to Me.
Yes.
Yay!
And if
I
y'all want
signed.
more details, we have a whole episode breaking that down, the
We
story.
do.
So
We do.
definitely want to go watch that.
I also have videos on my channel
We'll link
documenting.
them down below.
It documents the whole process. Um, But yeah, I signed with Nikki Carrero at the Rights Agency, which is just so exciting. Um, and that was like something that I didn't even imagine happening. It was, I really had lost hope in the querying space. And I still can't believe that this has happened and that I have a literary agent. It's very, very crazy to me still, but so grateful and so happy that I was able to, go beyond that goal and actually sign with a
Yes.
literary agent. And that was obviously the highlight of my writing year was signing with
Hmm.
Nikki. Um, yeah, like
It's a
wild.
big deal.
If you told me at the
Huge
beginning
moment.
of 2025 that was gonna happen, I'd be like, you're pulling my arm. Like you're lying. There's no way. Um, so yeah, very grateful that that happened. So first goal, continue querying. I did that, and then some. Very exciting.
Yes.
Um, my next goal was to draft a new book. I did not know going into the year what book I wanted to draft, I don't think. I don't even know if the book that I ended up drafting was like an idea in my head when I was setting these goals. I honestly can't remember. So the book that I ended up drafting is my YA romance Coming Up Roses, which is like a fake dating Valentine's Day set story. Very fun, very exciting. Um, Unfortunately, I did complete the goal. I did do it. But unfortunately, I rushed the whole like outlining character planning process. And so the first draft was rough.
It's supposed to be rough. It's
No,
okay.
you don't even understand. It is like I made a whole video talking about my 2025 in review and my goals and stuff. And I think I described that it's like it's not even like a proper skeleton. Like it's not even a full
Oh
skeleton.
God.
Um, it's missing so much. Um, Yeah, like it's literally missing the fun and games. Like there's barely anything there for the fun and
That's
games
the
because
hardest piece, I feel like.
yeah, like this is the worst first draft that I've ever done. So much so that I low-key forgot that I even wrote this book. I feel no
Oh my God.
connection to this book.
Oh no.
I would like to return to it one day and like give it the time and attention that it deserves, but it feels like a fever dream that I wrote that book. I'm not even
It
gonna
was
lie to
really
you.
quick.
It
Like,
was very
how long did it
quick.
take?
Um, the drafting process took 2 months, but if you counted the actual days, it was like 20 something.
Oh
Um,
wow.
which is very on par for me. Just normally I do it consecutive days, not split up. Um, yeah, it's not good. It needs a lot of work. Um,
What was
but
the
I
word count again that you
oh,
used?
mm, good question. I have my bullet journal right here. I can tell you. It was 36,400 words.
A baby.
It's a baby. Like it is so underdeveloped. But yeah, I finished writing that in June. Um, so May and June is when I was writing it. And it's rough, but you know what? I drafted a book. Is it a
Yeah.
complete good book? Nope.
It doesn't
But I
have to
drafted.
be.
Doesn't have to be. Honestly, I just like to try to draft a new book every single year to like keep that muscle in use. I keep forgetting what the exact metaphor I'm trying to make is when I say this, but like just to keep working on it, so I don't
Yeah.
lose it. So that there's not like a huge chunk of time that I go without drafting something because it's already so hard for me to draft a book that if I take an exorbitant amount of time away from it, it becomes that much harder because I forget how
Yeah.
to do it. Especially if I spend so much time in a like revision state with something that I've worked on for multiple drafts and the writing is more polished, going back to a first draft is so completely difficult
Yeah.
because like you don't remember what it looks like when it's in its
Yeah.
first stages. So that's really difficult. It's kind of like when you're reading a book and then you go to draft your book and it's like you're comparing yourself to that like
Yeah.
published. That's kind of the vibe that I feel if I go far too long without drafting and like being reminded of how crappy my first drafts are. That's
It
kind of
sucks.
that's kind of the vibe. Um, yeah, so I did draft a new book. Kind of forgot that I did it, but I did.
But you did
Um,
it
I did, and that was my
more
ninth
than
book.
most people. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's my ninth book. So
You gotta do a 10th. That's a pretty big deal.
we've got some goals for this year that we will discuss later.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. My last actual goal was to revise a manuscript. Did not know what this was going to be, I don't think, but I ended up deciding that I was going to revise my adult rom-com, Mission Rom-Com, my adult romance novel called Mission Rom-Com. I still need a new title for that. I hate that
I
title.
think it's fun.
I don't like it. I don't know
Well,
why.
it's a placeholder.
It is a placeholder. Anyways, so I was starting to do the prep work for that when I signed with Nikki. So I did have to halt revision prep on that to work on What You Mean to Me. So I did not set out to do what I wanted to do with this goal, but I did do revisions on What You Mean to
Yeah.
Me. So I was working on those. I completed them in October, and I'm overall very proud of what I did with those edits, which is good. I do believe I made the book stronger, which is great. Um, but it was difficult. I feel like I was in such like a focused state that like nothing else mattered, and I low key feel like I'm still kind of recovering from it. Um, it also just like things ended up happening like immediately after, and like I was working more. There's a lot of reasons why I feel a little bit of burnt out from it, but I did it. Very proud of what the book is currently
Yeah.
looking like. My agent currently has the book, and I will be hearing back from her very soon on that.
That's exciting.
Um, yeah. As for other things that I did in the year, I read more craft books than I ever have before in a single year. I read The Happy Writer by Marissa Meyer that we did a little bit of an episode on talking about our inspiration lists from that book. So if you want to watch that episode, link
Mm-hmm.
down
Let me
below.
plug it in.
Loved that stuff. Loved that one. Would love to revisit parts of that book this year. I feel like I need parts. of that
Yeah.
motivation. Um, I also read the romance. No, no, no. I also read Romancing the Beat by Gwen Hayes. That one was
Mhm.
very good. I was reading that in preparation to do Mission Romcom revisions. And that one was very good. It's basically just taking like a beat sheet, kind of like Save the Cat, but breaking it down into like romance specific beats. So like you can look at them and kind of like slot them into where they would be in Save the Cat. But they just focus on the romance and like the romance arc. And I found that really helpful. We'll definitely be revisiting that again this year as well. Kind of, I think it's going to be one of my go to craft books. I'll kind of
Mhm.
have it on my desk along with Save the Cat, you know?
Yes.
And then the last one I read was The K Drama Cure by Marie Cole, which a subscriber of my channel actually recommended to me after I talked about Romancing the Beat. And that one was also fun, kind of talking about what works so well in a K drama, and how to kind of implement that into your own writing. And that one was really helpful as well. Another one that I will be referencing in the future.
Yeah. Those were all wins.
All wins. Yeah, overall, it was a great writing year. I got all my goals completed. I signed with a literary agent, challenged myself in ways that I've never done before, took some risks, took some leaps, started this writing podcast with you,
Oh
which was very
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
That was so unexpected. That came out of nowhere. And I don't
Yeah.
remember what, like, how it came to be.
I have no idea. We
I
just
don't know.
were both really excited about what we were working on, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then I don't
Just like,
know. I don't know how that amounted to, let's do a podcast, but
I don't know.
it's a good, well, it's gonna be good as we continue it to
Yes.
like stay accountable, especially
I've
for
really
me.
enjoyed doing it because I love
Yeah.
yapping about writing. I love yapping about it with you specifically.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. So I'm really, really happy that we started this last year.
Yeah. And I feel like obviously we want to have like a steady schedule with these, but we're not trying to like stress about it as well. Like if life
Yes.
happens, life happens. So hopefully we're gonna have two of these a month and you can just see like our steady progress with these goals that we're about to discuss. And
Yes.
hopefully we can accomplish our goals together. You should let us know in the comments wherever you're listening what your goals for the year are or what you accomplished in 2025 because
Yes.
that's a big deal too.
Hmm.
So,
I'm ready to hear about your goals though.
oh, oh,
Or
okay.
like your writing year, because I think you said
Yeah.
that you didn't really set goals for 2025, but I just want to know what you got up to because I'm so proud of you for what you accomplished last year.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Honestly, it was unexpected because to I don't know, give people who may have not been listening a summary of my life. I I have not been like writing like consistently for a long time. I think I was throughout high school and then I went to college and I was a double major, but one of my majors was English. So I wrote so much for that. And I know I'm not the only one who would just like not write anything personal on the side because, you're just taking so many classes and then eventually it was like working too. So, but people still do it. I'm gonna say, like, those
Yeah.
people that do all of those things and maintain like healthy relationships as well. I
Hmm.
mean, I I'm astounded. Those are
Yeah.
amazing people. But
Hmm.
unfortunately, it wasn't me. So, finally graduated 2 years ago now. It's
Oh
kind
my
of crazy.
God.
I know. I'm about to hit my 2 year work anniversary like February 13th, where I've been working.
Hmm.
So, and like I graduated like 2 months before that. So, like, I got my job pretty quickly afterwards. And
Hmm.
like, I was getting used to the grind of a full-time job because I've never had that before. And that was weird. But
Hmm.
when I finally got used to having a full-time job, I was like, I really miss like being creative. I like wasn't making YouTube videos frequently either. Still am not. So sorry. But I kind of got back into it a little bit and I just missed having like a creative outlet. So I eventually I think I started writing my current book that I've been working on November of 2024 because I set the crazy goal back then. I was like, even though I haven't been writing ever, like, I'm gonna write 50,000 words. Like, I really thought I was about to do that. I've accomplished things before, but it was not a good time in my life to think that was gonna happen because I was dealing with a lot of health issues that just like all just whacked me all at once, and like I was trying to like, explore that and figure out what the heck is wrong with me. Still am. But I was not like going to be writing that freaking much without having done it in a while. So entering, I did write like a solid chunk. I feel like I had like 15K starting 2025, like somewhere around that. Um, the main goal for 2025 obviously was to continue that project and hopefully finish the first draft, which is not something that usually has happened quickly for me. And I've also been like an overwriter in the past. So my past projects, I mean, my one big project from the past was a high fantasy like YA series that I was trying to write. And I
Yep.
kept writing it over and over again. I just kept
Hmm.
rewriting it, and that like big draft that I ended up having was like over 100K. So I was kind of anticipating, having a longer draft, even though the book that I'm writing now is different than what I have done in the past. It is like, I would say it's a new adult horror
Hmm.
and murder mystery as well. So I got a lot going on. But it's like set in our real world, but it does have those like paranormal elements, like some weird, I mean, somewhat magical things going on. Because I always need a little twist of like bending reality. I feel like I
Hmm.
get bored if I don't have that, or I just need like some murderous character or something. Like I need
Hmm.
someone crazy to write about.
That's fair.
Um, so I really locked in like I feel like during the summer, I really was when I really locked in and I was able to finally finish the first draft. I think it was like around October 1st when this draft was finally done. And that was really exciting for me because I have not completed like a first draft of a novel in years. So
Hmm.
this was like my first big project to prove to myself that like I could do this again. And I did outline this book more than I've ever done before, and I did think that was helpful, but I did have to like take a step back a couple times while drafting it and re-outline things. I've been using like the Save the Cat beat sheets, and those have been, as Brittany will agree, like probably the most helpful like resource in just
Yeah.
trying to figure out like the direction. It helps you a lot when you get lost because really I feel like that's what would happen in my past writing where I just was writing in circles and like different things would just I'd be like, let me just throw that in there. Let me throw that monster in there and see how they survive. So
I feel like
it
Save the Cat really keeps you on track, you
Yeah,
know?
it makes you really think, and that's something I'm gonna talk about later is like it's probably gonna come up in the next episode actually, so I'm gonna tease it. But something that I struggle with is figuring out like the theme of my project. Like what am I actually like talking about? Because I do
Mm,
want my books to be like commentating on something, but
mm,
it's kind of difficult for me to like decide on that. I feel like it's just like going into it organically while I'm writing it. But while I'm writing it, I see very many different like directions that I could take it, and
mhm.
that would change the meaning. So that's something I'm dealing with right now, but that's not what we're talking about right now. I'm talking about my recap. I probably have ADHD. My whole family does. So
Oh,
I'm sorry.
just add that to your running list of
I
things you
know.
got going on.
I got so many things going on, but that's like one of the things that I'm writing about is like having chronic issues and illnesses and stuff. Like that's like one of the big themes that I want all of my projects to be about, which is what my project really dives into so far. I'm just trying to understand like where I want to go with it. But I finished it in October and I took a step back and wanted to, have a little bit of a moment away from it. But then I was able to read through everything that I wrote. And then the rest of the year, I was dedicated to, I wanted to, I guess some people call it like a reverse outline, like take a step back and see, like, yes, I had an outline, but what actually happened in my book?
Okay.
Because I am the queen of like changing things or just things sparking like in the moment. And I have like my best ideas while in the moment. So things just naturally will shift. And that's what I did. I also put together, like, I have a huge document timeline of events because my book has a lot of shit going on, like back into the 1900s, because it is about,
Damn.
like I've had to figure out dates for so many different events because like the basic premise of my book is there is this spirit that's been haunting my main character since she was a child. Now she's an adult and she's kind of finally facing what this has caused in her life, going to face her past and like put a stop to all the destruction the spirit has caused. But
Mm-hmm.
obviously, the spirit has a backstory. So I knew basic pieces of the backstory, but I really needed to nail down like very specific moments of this spirit's, well, her human life that she had and understand her like way more and the like I mean I have all these things like typed
Mm-hmm.
out because I would
Yeah.
have them scattered in so many different like notebooks
Mm-hmm.
and I really needed to have a place like this is like my Bible like my book Bible. I needed a place where everything was just all in one place and like all these different years where different things happened, it's it's all here. So even if it's happening to a different character, like I can see where all these things could connect. And
Yeah.
that's helped me a lot just figuring out like such a specific timeline because there really is three big timelines. The spirit's human life, I guess, that makes my character kind of understand what's going on. And then there is my main character from 6 years ago and the events that happened that really traumatized her and her family. And then there's the timeline of now and all the mischievous things that this spirit might be getting up to now. So that's a lot of shit. That's a lot of shit to have to like figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And as someone who's usually a pantser, like that was just really like it was I mean I took 2 whole months like doing that
Mm-hmm.
and it has helped me so much. So did not do anything in December. I played Fortnite all of December, creative refill.
Yeah.
So October and November was me creating that and it's a whole plan. I have a bunch of scenes, new scenes that I created that would really just create the direction that I have because I it's 60,000 words and I envision this book probably being like 80K or up.
Mm-hmm.
So really I'm not going to get into my 2026 goals just yet, but that's where I'm leaving it where I have a solid plan for what scenes need to be added in a second draft. So that's where I wrapped up my 2025. And I'm pretty pleased with that because, like I said, I have not done anything in so long. And it's been really great to just have something to obsess over again. I've never written something so complicated. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you would think my high fantasy would be super complicated. It was, but I was not like an outliner. So I did not have this attention of detail. And there's still shit that I have to figure out. Like, it's just keeps growing. So. It's a lot. But yeah. So now I think we should probably transition into our 2026 goals, everything that we're excited about for this new year. It's a clean slate. We kind of already have finished the first month. So,
Yeah.
but we'll dive into that in the next episode, how it's going. This is
Mhm.
just about general plans. So tell me, Brittany, what's your plans for this year?
So my first writing goals kind of go together. They're connected, if you will. So, first up, I need to finish editing my book, What You Mean to Me. So, like I mentioned earlier, my agent Nikki has been hard at work going over my edits. We had a meeting about our 2026 plans at the beginning of the year. We've decided to do some more developmental edits on the book before going into line edits. So that's what she's focusing on right now is the developmental stuff, and then once she gives those back to me, we might do another round of developmental edits before going into the line edits. But basically, just all encompassing, I need to finish editing What You Mean to Me so I can do my second goal, which is go on submission to editors with What You Mean to Me.
Uh,
So that is the next publishing step after you query. You edit with your agent and then you go on submission to editors where basically your agent is pitching your book to editors in hopes that you will get a book deal. So
yes.
very excited for that. Extremely nervous because it's
Yeah.
essentially querying all over again, but with less control. Because it is not
Yeah.
me who is actively sending these things out and like doing all the things.
That
I'm just
might be
kind of
better though, because like
it.
there's like a bit of a buffer.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to it. I think I simultaneously love having control, but also don't want all of the control, which is why I'm doing traditional publishing and not self-publishing, because I do not want to be in control of absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So like that
It's a
was
lot of pressure.
while querying, that was kind of like the nice thing about it was that I did have all the control. I controlled when like things went out, who I was querying, and that was kind of the only thing that you could cling on to. Like I can't control anything about how these agents are going to respond, when they're going to respond, how this goes down, but I can control every other aspect of like how I send it out, how quickly I want to send it out, all of that. So it's different going on submission, I'm sure, where it's my agent kind of doing all of the stuff that I would have done for like querying. Um, but I think the upside of being on submission is I do have my agent in my corner fighting for me and supporting me and all of that. Whereas you don't really have that kind of same support when querying. You just have like your friends, which is also very nice and very valuable, but it's not quite the same as having like an industry professional rooting you on.
Yeah.
Um, so I know it's going to be a very hard experience, very different than querying. I'm hoping it goes better than querying because obviously querying was very hard for me, but it is what it is. So again, don't have the goal of get a book deal, just have a goal of go on submission because that is all that I can control.
I think
So,
that's good because
yeah.
you really, I mean, you just never know. And like, I don't know, publishing trends are crazy, so you just
Yeah.
never know what they're looking for. So it's not any like mark on you and your book, you know? My first goal of the year is obviously to tackle my second draft. So I really set myself up, like I said, in October and November with a plan. And, it's still evolving. I'm still adding to my big Bible document, as I'll call it. Um, but I have started. I'll keep a secret for the next episode. But the goal is to, because I want to be realistic. I do have a full-time job. I do have a lot of appointments and all these chronic illness things going on. So I am giving myself a goal to get to that 80,000 words by May 1st. So I want, and I'll spoil it a little bit. I am making this like I'm making this more readable than that first draft. The first draft was a lot of me letting go of my perfectionism, and this time around, at least so far, what I've been doing, it is a little bit more um I am going slower because I do want it to be at least a little bit better. Like I want people to be able to read it, obviously.
Mhm.
Um But the main goal of this second draft, since I do, like, it is multimedia elements to this book, and like that was another complicated aspect of like figuring out when could these pieces like work best and what purpose do they have. I don't want them to be there for no reason, but I'm taking my time to really make sure that each scene is necessary and it's not just me droning on and on.
Yeah.
So, because I can write some pretty paragraphs that are stupid, that they just don't need to be here, So, I really that's like the goal with the draft is to really give the book a structure that if somebody else read it, even if I don't really want them to read it just yet. But if someone did read it, they would understand all these plot threads. And because right now there's just a lot of missing pieces, and mostly from the fun and games. There's a lot
Yeah.
because there is a mystery element, and that was something that is difficult as someone who usually is a pantser. It's difficult to pinpoint where all these clues and like different red herrings are supposed to go.
Hmm.
So I was able to identify that in my Bible. I was able to identify at least what I'm going with for now, because I'm sure I'll change my mind about things. But really, I just want it to be a structured plot and it makes sense. That's the goal for this draft. So that's it for that one.
I think that's a good goal. I'm excited. And
Thank
I feel
you.
like May 1st is like a good
I feel
chunk of
like it's
time.
reasonable and
Yeah.
like I'm going from 60K to 80K. Like I'm hoping to beef it up. It could be longer.
Hmm.
But like all these new scene ideas that I have. Um, so I mean like 20K a month. Just I'm not gonna like, share what progress I've already made, but like that's what I'm looking at right now is like potentially that, but a lot of these words are words that I've already written as well that I'm gonna be like building upon.
That
And
helps.
yeah, so it's not just all fresh words. So that helps put it into perspective because I have a lot of scenes that like I want to move or like maybe it's in a different setting, but what they were talking about, like that was good and like
Yeah.
I just need to reframe maybe the placement or like just just the situation that they were in. But like there's like some meat there, and that was the fun part of reading my draft because obviously it was a mess, but I could see so many nuggets that I was really excited about. And I felt energized that like this could, with a little work, end up being something. So, and that's what writing's about. Like it's not
Yeah.
gonna be perfect in that first draft, and that was the biggest lesson that I've learned in the past year. That it really, thank you.
I'm
Thank you.
so proud.
Thank you. Like, but it's such a big lesson. It's the obvious. It's like it's obvious. It's not going to be
Yeah.
perfect, but like actually getting yourself to understand that and that your book from the first try is not going to be like a published book like that you take off the shelf.
Hmm.
You really got to beat that into your skull. And I
It's a
finally
hard
did.
pill to swallow.
It is. It's very hard. So, yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too.
Okay, my next goal is to do at least one round of revision on another novel. So, Wim Tim aside, I want to take another one of my first drafts that I've written and revise that. So, currently, the plan is to go back to Mission Romcom, since that's the one that I was
Mm,
kind of gearing up to revise last year. I would like to go to that one and revise that. So, I'm
it's exciting.
thinking once we've sent What You Mean to Me off into the submission trenches, I don't know. Um, I want to try to turn my brain on to Mission Romcom instead and focus on that. I found that while querying, it's so important to like keep yourself busy with something else, and to distract yourself and just work towards the next thing. That way, if the book that you have that you're querying or that you're on submission with doesn't work out, you have something else that you can put
Yeah.
out there. And Mission Romcom just kind of feels like the best project to do next and to try to follow up with what you mean to me if something were to not work out. So I need to kind of revisit the work that I was doing last year. I didn't get too far into the revision prep, I don't think. I know that I reread the book and I think I was taking some notes, but I honestly did not get very far into it before like I went on a vacation and then got my agent. So, um the plan is to kind of revisit all the work that I did and then try to do at least one draft, like another draft of that book, and try to bring it to a bit of a better place. I would like to get it ready to send to my agent because I have like a bingo board in my reading journal of like other little things that I'd like to do that aren't like official goals, and one of them is to send something new to my agent, and I'm thinking that would probably be the thing. So basically, get it to a place where somebody else can read it, and I'm not immensely embarrassed by it because right now I'm
Yeah.
immensely embarrassed by Mission Romcom in the current state that it is in. Um, I wrote this book back in like 2023 maybe. Um,
Dang.
and it was another one of those like really rushed ones because I just like was itching to write it so badly. I'm also thinking I need to kind of rework part of it. It's a dual POV book, and I think I need to work on the male main character's POV and like his arc and his story. Like I think I need to readjust it. It is like loosely inspired by How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, one of my favorite rom-com movies ever, and I think his story is a little bit too close to the one from the
Mm.
movie. And that's what I kind of find I do when I like take inspiration from a favorite movie is like that first draft leans far too close to the movie, and then it's after I get like that initial, you know, draft written that can then pull it apart and like make it my own. So that's kind of what happened with Mission Romcom. So I need to kind of figure out all the kinks. I have no idea when this is going to happen because I have no idea what the submission timeline is currently for What You Mean
Yeah.
to Me. But basically, once that's on submission, pivot to Mission Romcom. Although also maybe I'll start working on it in between, like when my agent has my edits and like it'll get worked on in the coming months, and I'm excited about it because I honestly have not been writing that much recently. Spoiler for the next episode when we do writing updates, I've not been doing anything. I
You
basically
did so much in 2025, so it's
I know,
okay.
I know, but like I sent in the edits for Wim Tim last year in October, and then I kind of was just refilling the creative well because I was not reading or like doing anything while I was doing those edits except working at my job and coming home and writing. Um, I did do something else in like November that I can't talk about. But I did do some stuff. It's not anything that I can really talk about. Um, and yeah, I writing has been so far removed from my life recently, and I'm excited to get back into it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes we just have to step away because we can't
Yeah,
control life.
yeah,
And also, it was December. You know, December is
yeah.
kind of like when one, like, retail is crazy. So,
Oh yeah,
like,
with the
it's the
holidays.
worst month. Yeah. And then also, it's like kind of a month where everybody's like, oh, I don't want to do anything ever again. So,
Yeah, I do feel like those last 3 months of the year really just kind of took me out. Because I was going so hard on those edits and like working almost every single day on them. Like I was going hard to get those edits done. Um, Finished them within the first 2 weeks of October. Then I had some family stuff go on. Lost my grandmother, and then immediately jumped into something else, the one that I can't talk about. And then it was the holidays, and so I feel like those last three
mhm.
months was a lot of me grieving, refilling the creative well, distracting myself in any way that I could, and I could not focus on anything writing related in those months, and I think I've
Yeah.
I've beaten myself up about that a lot,
Don't.
but
You
I
definitely
know
needed some time.
I know I've got that like toxic productivity mindset sometimes where I feel like if I'm not doing something, then I'm wasting my time, kind of. And I've been
I
dealing
feel
with that a
that
lot
too.
recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
all I've been doing is watching The Vampire Diaries recently, and
That is a fun thing to do.
you know,
And I feel like TV, I mean, that is a refill of the creative well as well. Like
yeah,
just seeing those storylines and stuff, like, I mean, that
crazy.
it, crazy storylines. They can really, like as crazy as they are, like it can inspire you in
Yeah,
ways that you don't expect for the next project.
yeah. I've been enjoying it. I'm trying not to feel too guilty about like on my days off from work not doing anything. But it's like I deserve days off, you know? Like just because I have a
Yeah.
day off from my like day job, you know, it doesn't mean that I have to fill all my days off working on something else. Like I can also just like
Yeah.
watch TV and do nothing. And that's been a an inner battle that I'm working on. But anyways, we're off on a tangent. Let's hear about your next goal.
So my next goal, I only have like three that are like writing related, and it's mostly just timelines. So I broke it down on the months.
Cute.
So I'm hoping to do draft three. So I said with my last one that it would be like May 1st.
Hmm.
Obviously, I'm gonna need to take some time away, at least 2 weeks, but it could be like a month. I don't know. I need to step away from the book, and then I'm gonna hopefully do another read through. Hopefully, some of the structure of the plot is like better, and I can be excited about that. Um, but if we're being realistic, I'll probably still have new scenes and things that I want to add, but whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but the hope and the dream, maybe it's too ambitious,
No,
but
I believe in you.
because draft three, I'm hoping could be more like focused on like line level stuff because I feel like I'm gonna be needing help with oh my God,
Mm.
developmental stuff. I feel like I'm gonna need
A
help
hard
with
word to say.
it is. I can't get it out right now.
I know. I've
I
been struggling this whole time.
developmental. I feel like I'll need help with developmental stuff and won't have like a good perspective on it anymore. So, I feel like I want to clean up the language and maybe not like do too crazy because obviously I could like cut a bunch of scenes or like things could still change, but I want to get it in a
Mhm.
state where I could then hopefully share it with people, trusted people like you. Like you. So if all goes well, that could potentially be happening in October. That would be
Oh
cool.
my god.
That would
Like
be
you
like
working on it or you sending it in October?
sending it.
That is the perfect vibes for that book. Oh my god, I'm so
I
excited.
know, like that, because it
You
is
gotta do
like
it.
it's set in fall. It's actually
Mhm.
set in October. The whole book is set in October.
I'm so excited.
And like one of the climactic scenes is on Halloween. I did
Of
have to
course it
do it. I
is.
had to be cliche and everything,
Oh,
but
I'm obsessed. Yeah.
so yeah, that would be a nice. I need to make that like for real. Like I need to do that because that would be so cool. Um, I would really love to share it with you and like
Yay.
get your honest thoughts on like, is this making sense? Like, do
Mhm.
you like this? I obviously there's mysterious things like are these things super obvious? That's why I've kind of stopped sharing some things because I want to like see an honest take. And I'm probably gonna, I don't know if my boyfriend's gonna actually read it. Like, I feel like he'd read my final draft, but I'm like, is he gonna read a draft three? I don't know. So we'll see who else I send it to, but like, mainly, I'm gonna send it to you
Yay.
and
I'm
we'll get
honored.
some initial thoughts and then we'll see where that goes from there. I
Yeah.
actually, oh, that's my third goal. I'm not gonna get into it just yet. What is your next goal?
The next goal, like I have every year, is to draft a new novel. Like I said, gotta work
Yes.
those drafting muscles. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea what project I wanted to work on prior to my meeting with my agent. I sent her like a whole document of pitches of all my written books and all the like more concrete-ish ideas that I had for potential novels. And there was one that she was particularly excited by, and her excitement got me more excited for it. And then I kind of, after our call, went through notes that I had. because I kind of forgot that I actually had brainstormed parts of this book. I thought it was just like, here's a pitch idea for it, and that's it. But no, I actually have notes on my phone, and then I remembered I have a notebook. I haven't gone back to look at it, but I know I have a notebook for this project. So her excitement got me more excited, and it doesn't have a title, but it's a YA romance. It's called Anxiety List Book. That's my project title for it. Um, and yeah, we're gonna work on that one. And it's kind of got like Get a Life Chloe Brown vibes for
I
YA
love that book.
audience, or Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by Joya Goffney. Main character
Oh.
has anxiety, and she basically categorizes her entire life into lists, and she has one that's kind of like a bucket list of like how to like work through her anxiety a little bit, and like try to um, improve it, I guess, improve her
Mhm.
life and not let her anxiety
Yeah,
control her kind of thing. And then she ends up enlisting the help of this cute boy, obviously,
of
um,
course.
to help her. And like I've got a couple of other ideas percolating for the book. I just need to kind of figure out exactly how they'd fit in. Um, so the goal is to kind of brainstorm that, figure that all out. I'm gonna try really hard to not rush that pre-planning thing. Because I'm an outliner, I'm a planner, but I will be the first to admit I can rush it sometimes when I start to get antsy to draft, and then I end up with a really rough draft. That's like,
Yeah, it's hard not to like get so
yeah,
excited that you start drafting like that.
yeah,
I always would do that and then I'd write myself into a wall.
yeah.
So,
But like also like drafting is already so hard for me, and I'm only making it harder on myself by not taking my time. So like in that meeting with my agent, she was like, "What is something that like you want to work on this year?" And I was like, "Taking my goddamn time." And like just going slower, like not rushing it. So I have no idea when this is going to get done throughout the year. This is like the first time where like I haven't done like a month by month like plan for my year because it's not entirely in my control. Um, so like I have no idea when this is going to happen, but I would like to at least start to slowly come up with some ideas for this book or work through it, maybe brainstorm with some people and try to figure it out. Um, so there's things that come along with this, like little mini goals, if you will, that are included in my writing
mhm.
bingo. So like create a playlist for it because I love a novel playlist. I don't always listen to it when I'm writing because I tend to just listen to whatever music is currently out. Like right now, I'm only listening to Louis Tomlinson because his new album came out and
Oh,
I'm
I haven't listened to
obsessed.
it yet.
It's so good. It's so good. There's a song that made me just sob, and I can't listen to it because it's so sad. I want to create a writing playlist for it. I want to create an aesthetic board for it. I just want to do all the things that come with drafting a new project. Oh, create a title. I want a title for it, an actual concrete title. I hate referring to things by a project title, like anxiety list book pisses me off. I needed to have an actual title.
Yeah.
And titles are one of those things that like I can't plan. They tend to just like come to me in like random spurts of inspiration. I do have like a running list of title options, but normally a title just like clicks in my brain. Like once I come up with
Yeah.
it, it just feels right. Um, and
Mine
I
woke me
don't,
up in
yeah,
the
I don't know.
middle of the night.
I love that. Yeah, I don't know if I've had that moment with any of the titles that I've like
Yeah.
brainstormed. Side
You'll
note,
know when you know.
yeah, side note, Harry Styles released his track list for his new album, and Coming Up Roses is a title of the
Oh,
album. And I was
it
like,
better be a good
whoa,
song.
whoa, Harry.
That's
And like,
cool.
what's funny is the inspiration for that title actually came from a lyric in a Maisie Peters song.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
very music connected in my brain.
Yeah.
So
Watch
if
you
that
hate
book,
that song.
oh God, I'm scared of the album. But if this book ever goes anywhere, people are going to think I named it after Harry Styles' song, and I did not. It was from
You
AC
you were
Peters.
a genius before he
I
was.
know. I like, damn. Imagine if he was like writing that song as I was writing the book. We're connected.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Dang. I have one final goal for my year. I have other personal goals, but writing related goal, as I just said with my other one, hopefully it would finish draft three in October. So while hopefully someone's reading it, I want to try to outline one of my other ideas. Yeah.
Yay.
I haven't decided because I have like every time I have something, I just write it down in my notes. Also, I
Mhm.
just got this green phone. Look at that.
Cute.
And I got a little frog. But um I have like a bunch of just little ideas because I've
Mhm.
learned you gotta write them down. Even if it's a small nugget,
Yeah.
like write it down because you're gonna forget. And you can also like take those little nuggets and combine them
I
and
was about to say that.
yeah, like
We're connected.
it'll just be a small little thing, but like just building upon it. And I feel like some of these little nuggets that I've written down, if I just had like a solid like brainstorm moment, I feel like I could get somewhere because I mean, my current book was inspired by I thought I saw a ghost like
Mhm.
walk into my parents' room and I was just like thinking about it a lot. I've had some other weird ghosty experiences. So like ghosts have always been a thing for me.
Mhm.
I don't think I actually saw this ghost,
I
but it was
think
in
you
the
did.
middle of the night. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
No, my mom's still mad at me because she's like, "How did you just see this happen?" Like this was like 5 in the morning. I went to pee. Like that's what I'm saying. I probably made this up, you know.
Mm,
But
no.
I saw like I thought I saw like a white dress specter, which is like the common image is like
Mhm.
a woman, dark hair, like white dress. Um, and like the next day, like I just kept thinking about it because I did scream. Nobody woke up. But my mom was like, "Why did you not like come tell me? Like, wonder if they were after me or whatever." And I'm
No.
like, I screamed. And no one woke up. So I screamed and turned on the lights.
But like
Um,
your sister also saw this ghost, no? So like,
So this was a different ghost.
oh, well, you're all seeing ghosts. So I'll believe
Yeah,
you.
my sister saw the same ghost that I had. We described it the same. It was really weird. So this house, I don't know what's going on, but yeah, so I saw this ghost and the next day, I just was like researching like what does like this mean? And it just said usually it's like a symbol of possession. And I have always written about possessed people for some reason. My fantasy book had little, people were getting their minds taken over by other things, other magical beings. I
Mhm.
find it so interesting, like minds being at war with something else. So this was like just an idea that I've always just thought about. So from that, I like got an image of a girl with like the house burning down and she actually set the house on fire because um she thought maybe the ghost was attached to her house and
Mhm.
it wasn't. It still followed her after. So that's like kind of the initial spark of the idea that I had, but that came from like a weird nugget and like then I just kept brainstorming and building upon it. So I'm really excited to hopefully at the end of the year do one of those things. I have some more like fleshed out ideas that I could probably go for, but I have
Mhm.
not decided on anything in particular. But I am feeling like most of my ideas are more like horror or thriller, which is an interesting turn of my life, which I mean, I love horror and thriller books and movies. So it's just what I'm like interested in these days. So those are what most of my ideas are going for, but usually there is some sort of like haunted weird twist. So I'm excited to see where that goes because I've been working on this book. Like I probably got the idea for it like 2 years ago. So this
Mhm.
has really been the only thing I've been working on, and it'll be interesting because I suck at outlining. So this is going to be very hard to go from like all that I've developed to back to square one.
It is very
But
difficult.
yeah,
Because
like
then
I
it's
just
like, I,
can't.
you get to the point in your projects where like you don't even remember how you came up with ideas, like where they came from, and you're like,
It's
how did we
just, it
get from
feels like
point A
it's
to point
always been
B?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I do
So
this again? Kind of
I
thing.
know, and like, especially when you have any sort of like not of reality twist, there is like this weird spirit world connection with our world. And I have like lore for that.
Hmm.
So, and I like this world I've created. I think it's cool. But, and I
Yeah.
do think, a lot of authors will kind of set different things within the same reality. So I'm like, I think I could do something like that, but just different characters and
Mhm.
different situations. So, because I like what I got going on here. I feel like it could have more stories, but right now I'm just dealing with Ruth going through a lot of shit.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's your next goal?
My last goal
Oh my God.
is very simple, and it's not actually like writing anything, but it is to create an author website.
Oh
That is
yeah.
something that authors just need to have, and my agent mentioned it in our call, and I was like, yeah, I've been meaning to do that, but I have no idea how to do that. So she told me about like a free way that I can do it
Ooh,
for now, and
that's always good.
yeah, so I need to look into doing that. I think I'm gonna do that in the next coming months. While we're prepping for submission, I'd like to have it before going out on submission. So we'll see. I just need to like park my butt down and do it. So
Hmm.
I'm
That's
anxious about it.
exciting.
It seems very daunting. And I'm not very like tech savvy in that way. So I'm hoping that I can figure it out. My agent said that she can help me because she's got many websites that she's done. So I'm gonna
I think
figure it
you can
out.
do it.
I'm gonna figure it out.
I've
But
made a
that's
website, so
yeah,
I think you could do it. If I can do it, you can do it.
yeah. So like that's kind of like the what am I trying to say?
The author brand.
Yeah, that's kind of like one of the like behind the scene things that I gotta do. One of the author career things that I have to do. The admin that I have to do that is
Yeah,
not exactly writing, but it's related to the career and
it's
to the
cool.
that.
Your
Yeah.
career is building before our eyes. That's so
Hey.
exciting.
Yeah.
I love it. I can't wait to see what this year has in store for us because obviously
Me
these are our
too.
plans, but like you never know what's going to happen. Like you weren't sure if you were going to get an agent or not, and then it happened. So,
Yeah.
like, who knows? I mean, I'm not querying, so like I kind of know what's happening, but
Yeah. You have full
like,
control of what you're doing.
yeah, but like you just never know. So I'm really excited to one, we can continue updating on this podcast, do
Yeah.
a mid-year check-in, see if we're
Ooh,
on
yes.
track,
I'm already looking
and
forward to
that
it.
we better hold ourselves accountable because I'll be embarrassed. And honestly, it does help because
Hmm.
like I don't want to have to update and be like, I just played Fortnite for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, which is very possible of happening. But
Yeah.
I'm ready to lock in now. I have worked in January, but it's been very spotty. So I'm ready to
Hmm.
like make it back in my like weekly schedule and have specific days where I'm like focusing on it again.
Yeah.
So very excited. And yeah, I feel like that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us and let us know, like we said earlier, what your goals are and what you're most excited about for this year, even if it's not writing related, if it's reading related. Like what good books are coming out, because I feel like I've been really bad at like knowing the books that are coming out recently. So
So
let us
many.
know. So many. I
Yeah.
know I'm on a book buying ban right now. So
Tragic. I still have a gift card from Christmas that I need to spend. I'm just like, what books do I pre-order?
yeah, I've bought too many things recently, so I'm like, I really need to get my life together. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to ban myself. I got all these books just
Hmm.
waiting on me. I got Soul Screamers, as we were talking about. I can finally read this. Paranormal YA excellence, as she would put
Trashy
it.
excellence. Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Okay, well, please, before we go, we are going to remind you you can leave us questions down below so we can answer them in the next episode. We would love to answer your questions. Anything writing, reading related. And yeah, that has been us. That is our life. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.